How's it going, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Z Garage, and this is just an update video for any of those who are following on live with me as I'm painting this car. And I wanted to kind of take you through what's happened since I released my video yesterday. And basically, I found out that I've made two errors in my plans. The first error is the color that I was going to paint the car. If you saw it at the end of last week, it's this beautiful metallic white. It looks so good. But when I was actually stirring it around with that stirring stick and looking at it, I was like, this is very translucent. It doesn't have a lot of paint behind it. And it turns out that the paint that I got is a mid coat and not an actual base coat, despite the actual can saying base color on it. It took me a lot of digging and diving to find this one PDF on the manufacturer's site that has a little box on the top that says the part number of my paint -1 is a translucent mid coat and requires color underneath it. And I can't find the -1 anywhere on my paint can specifically, but I'm pretty sure that's what I have because the stick that I was stirring with, it dried very, very clear. It's pretty much just brown with a little bit of flake on it. So all that to say is that I had to put a color coat on the car before I can actually get to putting that mid coat on. And so I was like, oh, that's fine. I have a little bit of the championship white paint that I was originally going to paint this car. It's a nice off-the-shelf Duplicolor ready to spray color. And so I went around this morning to a bunch of different AutoZones around me and grabbed up some of this paint because each store had like one or two, and I wanted a gallon and I had 1 quart. So I went and got 3 more quarts. And as I'm driving home, I was thinking to myself, I was like, you know what? This said lacquer paint on it. And if you guys don't know much about painting, there are 3 main types: acrylic, lacquer, and urethane. And urethane is what I bought for the mid coat and what I bought for the clear coats. And I was like, can you paint a lacquer? Can you paint over a lacquer with urethane? And it's kind of a rough answer to find. I spent an hour Googling this, and the short answer is yes, but you kind of have to do a lot of stuff to do it. And in order to get that done, basically you have to wait anywhere between 2 to 4 hours and 24 to 48 hours for the paint to fully dry. Lacquer is a water-based paint, and you have to let it fully dry before you put the top coat on it. Now that does have some advantages because you can paint it, let it set fully, and then go ahead and come back to it with a a top coat. Versus other paints like urethane, you have to spray a brand new coat if you kind of get outside of the painting window. Kind of like the same thing with the sealer primer. You have to paint it while it's wet still. And so basically, if I were to spray the color that I have, the lacquer paint, I would have to spray it and then wait for it to dry. And it's not super cold in here because I have the heaters on, but it's not hot either. And so I think I would have to wait at least 2 days for it to fully cure. And then you have to technically scuff it to get the mechanical adhesion back for the top coat. So if I did that, I would still be pushing back probably till next weekend before I can actually put the clear coat back on this. So if I'm going to be waiting till next weekend, basically I'm going to get real urethane paint. So I'm going to go ahead and return the lacquer paint because it's just not what I really want. And then next weekend we're going to go ahead and put on urethane color. We'll get some urethane white paint, and then we'll get some urethane metallic on it, and then we'll get some urethane gloss coat on it, and we'll have a very nice strong paint job, which is what I want. It pains me so much to not be able to paint this car today because I've been trying so hard, and it feels like every time I'm almost there, it slips out of my hands. It's like every single little thing. We're finding so many little errors and issues that keep popping up, and it's kind of paining me to do this. But I think I want the best paint job that I can do. Obviously, I'm not a professional painter, but if I know that I'm putting things that aren't compatible with each other, I know that I could have avoided that. And if I have to redo the paint, or if it comes out looking bad, or if it starts lifting up in a month, I'm just not going to be happy with it. So we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to do it the right way because that is the only way that I want to do it. I don't want to redo painting. I'm fine redoing turbo setups, I'm fine redoing transmissions, I'm fine doing suspension, but I do not want to repaint this car because it has been such a process, and I want to do it right, as best I can. So, thank you guys for watching. If you're watching this today when it comes out on Sunday, it is the only or it is the day that I'm recording this. It is Sunday right now for me too, and I'm sorry that we don't get to paint today, but we're going to make it next weekend. We're just checking things off the box to make everything look perfect, and we're getting there. So thank you guys for watching. Tune in next weekend for the live, which hurts me to say because I've said that like 4 times now. Tune in next weekend for the live. We're going to paint real urethane paint on this car all over, and it's going to turn out really, really good. So thank you guys, and I'll see you guys next week.